Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live once again to counterpunch the review. To first of all, watch the review between Terence Crawford and Isrial Madrimov on the Faceoff. Okay, and of course we've seen some interesting face-offs. You know, I remember the old school HBO 24/7 face off that we used to have when you got one guy on this side, another guy on this side, and then it just Max Kellerman in the middle. And I remember how those used to go down, and then some of them were intense. Okay, we seen the Joshua Dubois one was pretty intense, where Dubois was like, "If you want to fight, we can. If you don't swing up, we can fight right now." Shut up. I'll crack your face, right? So we've seen some interesting ones, and then we're about to see another one together. Of course, I'm working nights now, so I wanted to share this live with you. Uh, with that being said, let's wait and let people get into the chat. Let's see. Let's see who wins. I'm starting a poll. So who wins Saturday night? There we go. Cool. So oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me get this right. There we go. Go. Boom. Okay. So, Johan Lee Evans, counterpunch to you. I'm just finishing up some work real quick while we let people coming in. Mikhail coming in with that. Is that a trophy? Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Let's see. What's up, fight fans? I have some concerning Teddy Atlas. Okay, that's his take. Okay, cool. All right. So we got 7 votes. Everybody hit the like button and please vote on who you think will win. I'm setting up the face off so we can watch it now. Okay. There we go. Kurt, who wins? Jared Anderson versus Bacoli. Bacoli got good odds. What are his odds? I don't know the odds because I don't really gamble, you know. I don't know. So what's the odds there? Kurt, Jarrell Miller has been trained by Boozy Ennis. That might change the outcome of fighting. You know, I think, Joshua pretty much set up everybody on how to beat Andy Ruiz. See, Andy Ruiz is not a guy that comes for you. And actually, I just did a video on it. Um, but no, I don't. I think he solved everyone's problem. See, Andy Ruiz, people were kind of fearful of him for a while. Yeah, he lost to Joseph Parker, but it was a good fight. Okay, it was a good fight, very good fight. But if you engage with Andy Ruiz, you're just fighting the fight you want him to fight. And the question is, will Jarrell Miller do that? Will Jarrell Miller Miller be that guy that says, okay, well, let me try to beat you at your own game? You know what I mean? I don't know if he can do that. But then again, who says Jarrell Miller can fight any other way? You know what I mean? Because I haven't seen him fight any other way besides the way he's been fighting. Come forward, pressures you, volume puncher, big guy, definitely a big guy. Um, I just want to. I just here's my thing though. I hate bringing it up, but it has to be said. I gotta keep it a buck. Bars. How well will he do? I mean, how well will Jarrell really do? You know? Now, here's the thing. Here's the honest truth about Jarrell Miller. If Jarrell Miller only took or attempted to take those drugs to beat Anthony Joshua, then that means his performances before were credited because he actually wasn't taking anything. He was just taking something for AJ because he hated his guts and he wanted an edge. That's one scenario. Or here's the other scenario. Maybe he's been cheating his whole career. And since he's been cheating his whole career, he just got caught because he was very, very good at cheating his whole career. Maybe he can't fight at all being a clean fighter. Maybe that's the reason to change trainers. That maybe that's the reason to switch up like he's doing. Maybe that's the reason to do anything. Miller losing 45 pounds could be a factor. Yeah, good or bad. You know, but then again, we have to see on how much weight he really lost. 45 pounds, saying I've lost 45 pounds is one thing, but actually showing us you lost 45 pounds is totally something different. Okay, because he could say, yeah, because we all know he was 333. Now, who's to say he didn't come back to the States, eat a whole bunch of cheeseburgers, get about 340, 348, 349, then lose 45 pounds? Damn, these calls, bro. Kurt, what did you think about Terramona Jr., the heavyweight from Australia? I didn't see it. I mean, I've been at work, man. I haven't really seen much. I mean, I heard you mention him when I woke up this morning. I seen the message, and then I didn't, I really haven't seen him. Macaulay is winning. He's very dangerous. Mark my words. Anderson chose someone whom he will regret because Macaulay is fighting for his own promotion. Well, let's say this. Let's put it this way. Turkey Al Sheik fighting in his banner. It fine. What I'm liking about Turkey Al Sheik is he's showing you based on opposition how good you are or how good you're not. Okay. So he's showing us like these fighters are not as good as they claim to be. They just claim to be. Didn't mean that they really are. Didn't mean anything. Didn't mean anything at all. My question is. If you guys heard that buzz, that means these are calls that I'm getting. And bro, they are diabolical. When I mean diabolical, I mean horrible. Okay. So, all right. Kurt, I can see a very big upset from Jarrell Miller. I hope so. I hope he beats Andy. He's better in the sport. He's better for American boxing. You know what I mean? Because you have, for one, it's the background. You know, it's the background for Miller. See, if Miller can beat Andy Ruiz, which I don't think it's a easy ask or easy order. Okay, I'm gonna say that because Andy Ruiz is pretty tough. Um, I just think Jarrell Miller's better for boxing. If he doesn't dip back into the substances, you still win with Big Shay Shay from Inglewood. Okay. I was trying to wait till we got at least a half 100 in here so we can watch this, but I think this is good enough. Okay. If you guys haven't seen the Face-Off Riyadh season card with Terence Crawford versus Isrial Madrimov, this is your opportunity to listen to it with me. And I'm going to stop and go. Okay. And we're going to listen to A Day Get Down. Shout out to him because he is the host of this show. And we have Terence Crawford and Bomac on one side. Then we have Isrial Madrimov and Antonio Diaz on the other side, which is his trainer. Okay, so we have a lot of we have trainer fighter there versus just the fighters across from each other. And I think really what's warranted is, in fact, Isrial Madrimov's, his English is not too good, So, I think he'll need an interpreter anyway, or, somebody that'll speak for him. Haven't been in your live in a minute. How you in the family, brother? Everything good, man. Venus _ crazy 497. Kurt, I hope Jared Anderson wins. Well, he'll win or he won't. And if he doesn't win, we'll see what he's not. Or we'll see what he needs to improve on. I think, everybody's improving. And sometimes when you get your ass whooped, that's how you improve. You get your ass whooped. Okay, so let's go ahead on and turn it on. Hold on.
In 2 weight classes, what do you do next? Do you spin the block and try and do it all again? Or do you try and conquer it? When you don't.
Okay, so just give me, you guys hit Y for ready or N for not ready. Okay, so I'll know where to start it from. Okay, so give me a Y or give me an N, please, and then hit the like button. Okay. For those who don't know, okay, I'm about to start. So, okay, thank you, Venus, Adari, Vincent, okay. Ask Skip in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Member in the house and with the wrench. So if anybody gets out of line, Ask Skip is gonna hit you with it. Bet. So, are you guys ready? Give me some Y's. Give me some Y's or some N's. Let me know if you're ready or not. Because I am about to start. Okay, 244. Okay. Okay, Johan T. I don't know. Maybe you guys are driving, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay. So, I missed it ready. Missed it ready for what? No. Am I dead yet? I'm about to start the Face-Off Riyadh season card interview with Terence Crawford and Isrial Madrimov. Okay, so here we go.
When you dominate boxing and become undisputed in 2 weight classes, what do you do next? Do you spin the block and try and do it all again? Or do you try and conquer another division? For Terence Crawford, the answer is simple. You go hunting. On August 3rd, live on DAZN, Terence Crawford will bid to become a 4-division weight champion when he takes on the very dangerous unbeaten Isrial Madrimov. Before they meet in the ring, they meet here face to face. This is Crawford versus Madrimov. This is Face-Off. This is Face-Off with, I guess.
First off, hold on, guys. I got to do something real quick because I think I have it with me. Yup. Boom. I got my boom speaker. So. Quiet is back, ninjas. What's up, Kurt? Quiet ass. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Cool. All right.
To use this feature, please make sure your app is running and can access the internet.
Here we go.
different kind of style to it because we have two trainers here as well, two very, very good trainers in Joel Diaz and Bomac. And I'm happy you guys are both here as well. You're here to talk, no, Joel. You're here in Canelo Crawford, right? His Excellency Turkey's talking about it as though it's the big fight to make for next year. It's the super fight, the best of this era. Surely that annoys you, no? When you hear that from that side, it almost does seem it's a formality that Crawford's team are ready to go to Canelo rather than going through Israel.
Well, it doesn't annoy me. I mean, after time, I've been in this sport long enough to mature and be part of the critics. You know, I mean, we're gonna have negative critics and positive critics. I know they already looking into something, you know, bigger for Terence, but you know, Terence has a tough fight coming Saturday night. You know, don't make plans ahead. You know, I mean, a lot of people have done it before. We've seen in boxing, a lot of things don't work out. People have their plans and they don't work out. Right now, just focus on this fight. And when the last bell rings, you know, hey, you can start making plans. But for right now, we have a great fight for the fans. We're here. We prepare 100%. And I can tell you guys that people are going to be talking about this fight for many years.
Is it easy, Terence, to focus on this when people are talking about that super fight?
Of course, because I look at that as a distraction. You know, a lot of people ask me, am I overlooking Israel? Never in a million years. I really don't care about Canelo. I don't care about nobody but Israel.
Are you not thinking about Canelo?
I don't think about nothing but him. You know, he's my main focus. He's my determination when I wake up in the morning and both say it's work time. I don't think about, Canelo. I'm thinking about Israel because he's the one I'm fighting this week. He's the one that's trying to dethrone me. He's the one that's trying to put a roadblock in everything that I want to accomplish. So why think about all the distractions and all the people that's saying, oh, Canelo. I don't care about Canelo. Let's get that out there right now. He's not in my mind, not in the back of my mind. I don't care about him nor any other fighter at this particular time. My focus has always been Israel. Other people may have said, oh, well, this guy. I don't care about that. This is straight that there's only one person on my mind, that's Israel.
You would have said, yes, we're happy to take the fight. You're confident that you can get the job done. You've got a game plan. Why do you think you can get the job done against Terence Crawford?
Why? Because we have a great fighter in Isrial Madrimov, you know?
Okay, before we get into Madrimov's plea for why he feels that he will be victorious, let's talk about Terence Crawford for a minute. Terence Crawford showed me in that interview that we do hear a lot about Canelo. We hear a lot about Terence Crawford. We hear a lot about Turkey Al-Sheikh trying to make Terence Crawford versus Canelo. We hear what people think about the fight, feel it's stupid, feel it's not, feel it's safe, feel it's crazy, feel it's whatever. And what we just heard from Terence Crawford is exactly how any fighter that's focused on one fighter should have responded. I get up thinking about Madrimov, not Canelo, not Boots Ennis, not Jermell Charlo. Remember him? Remember Jermell Charlo? Remember that guy? Because people will remember Jermell Charlo was that guy, remember? Once upon a time in America, you know? And then, you know, he kind of got forgotten about. But I mean, saying all that to say this, people, he's only thinking about Madrimov. He's only focused on Madrimov. You know, he's concentrated. He's locked in. And I like that, you know? I think that Terence Crawford is a guy that he's very quiet, but I mean, it's the quiet ones that'll get you. You know what I mean? Those will be the ones that will get you. You know, but Madrimov is also very quiet. I don't really see Madrimov talk a lot. You know what I mean? Adari Pennant, I don't know if it'll happen eventually, but I can tell you this. It has to happen within a reasonable amount of time. It can't happen 3 years from now. It wouldn't even make sense. Terence Crawford versus Boots Ennis 3 years from now. 3 years from now doesn't make sense on an even playing field. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. What that means is, okay, you just got a younger guy that's about, what, 20 or 31 at that time, fighting a guy that's 40. You know what I mean? Really, I mean, that's crazy. You know, let's look at it this way. If you guys are 40 plus, take yourself now versus yourself at 31. I mean, physical, in a physical all out altercation with yourself. How good would you do against a 31-year-old version of yourself? Because that's what people are calling him. He stopped, was it not Adesanya, Avanesian in 5 rounds. So did Terence Crawford, but he did it, what, last year? Okay. Bobby Collins in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. But no, I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that fight makes sense. But I can tell you a fight that does make sense is Terence Crawford versus Isrial Madrimov for the WBA Super Welterweight Championship of the world. And I'm glad how Terence Crawford is responding. Okay, and how you respond to something is basically how you're focused on it. It's not, you're not all over the place. You're not talking about after that or when I get done or when I do this or when. No, he's focused on the task at hand, and I love it. So let's continue. Let's go.
When this guy came to the United States from Uzbekistan, you know, his mentality is, I want to be great. I want to be the best fighter. And in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that's why when he wanted to turn pro, he mentioned some names, some top names for his pro debut. So when the name came and they offered us the fight, I said, well, you know, it's an honor fighting, you know, the best pound for pound fighter of this era, you know. And that's what we took the fight, because for him, his vision is way beyond. And in order for him to be there, he needs to beat the best.
Well, Matt, same to you. Why do you think you guys can get the job done against Israel?
Well, I just know Terrence's mentality as a fighter and as a person. He wanted to be considered one of the best to ever lace up the gloves. And this is just one of the obstacles we must go.
Terence, it says Crawford versus Madrimov, although he's the champion. You're the A side in this. You're the guy that's the pound for pound king. So you know how it works in boxing. You pick this. Why did you pick Madrimov as your first fight at 154?
Well, I consider him the best fighter in the division. And if I'm going to move up into a new division, I want to fight the best in the division. And the best in the division is Israel.
What type of challenge, Israel, are you expecting from Terence? I mean, you fought so many different styles as an amateur. Obviously, you're the champion, the unbeaten champion at 154. What kind of challenge do you think Terence possesses?
В первую очередь, мои уважения, Теренс Кроуфорд, потому что он мой любимый боксер. И сейчас мы встретимся в ринге, и для меня это тоже, как скажем, победа, потому что я берусь лучший боксер мира.
Joe, you probably heard me at the top. I said undisputed, right? Terence has done it at 140, done it at 147, done it at 135 as well. But you know, you hear the old phrase in boxing, there are weight classes for a reason. Your guy is the natural 154 pounder. Do you almost feel like this could be a jump too far for Terence, gone up another weight class?
I've always said this about Terence. I know Terence since early in his career. I met him when he had 6 pro fights. He is by far one of the fighters that says no to a fight, and he's down for the challenge. He's putting himself in that position because he feels he can dominate the division due to his confidence. But I know myself that as a trainer, as a fighter, it's tough for him and it's tough for Israel. That's why this fight plays off really well.
A lot of people are talking about the size. I'm looking at you guys right now, and I don't see much of a size difference. And every fight, I felt like you had at 147. The guys are always supposed to be a bit bigger than you. Carl Brook a bit bigger than you, Errol Spence a bit bigger than you. How do you find these extra 7 pounds? What do you make of the size difference of Israel when you see him here now?
He bigger than me. Everybody bigger than me. But, you know, come fight time, you know, I always had the ability to show that I was stronger. You know, bigger don't mean stronger. You know, it's just his body type. I'm very lean, you know, my muscle is very compact, you know, so that don't have nothing to do with the skills of and the ability to fight come fight time.
Okay, so let me pause right there because I mean we gotta commercial anyway. No, it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog. However, the weight classes are there for a reason. Terence Crawford has showed us that he's defying odds, that he's defied odds at 140 and 147, and he's fighting guys that are bigger than him. You know, I mean, look what he did to Errol Spence. And Errol Spence was regarded, people, first of all, as a weight bully. People thought of Errol Spence as a guy that shouldn't have been at 147 anyway. Okay, like they're going to start saying about Jared Ennis if the welterweight division really survives, honestly, because, you know, we don't really have much to go on. Those guys, and those last flock of guys from 147 is, you know, them leaving like that makes it harder for the next generation to make a name for themselves because those guys have already departed. You understand? So that's what makes it challenging for someone to make a name, because you have to have names to be a name, right? To make your own name. And him saying, well, hey, he's bigger than me. And, you know, based on Israel's, the crazy thing, based on Israel's trainer, you know, Joel Diaz, what he had to say, he said, well, he's always been up for a challenge and this, that, and the other. And, you know, and it's gonna, you know, I know his mentality, but he has to know mine. So basically, you're voting, you're placing your mentality as a trainer against someone that's a fighter. It's kind of weird to me, you know, because here's the thing, the reason why, because he can't fight for his fighter. Now, he did say it's going to be a tall order for my fighter, for both fighters, but, you know, I know myself as a mentality, and I think what Diaz tries to do, like he did with Bradley and, you know, like he did with a lot of other fighters, you know, he, especially with Bradley, you know, he comes in like, what you want to do? What the fuck you want to do? Get that motherfucker out of here. Get him. You don't know what he's doing. You want to go in here? You want to get out there? You want to be a winner? You want to do this? You know what I mean? He's at you. He's like a drill sergeant. So when he says his passion, I know what he was talking about. I definitely knew what he was talking about. But since that's the case, you know, him saying that, like, his size, okay. Well, you know, Terence, like, well, everybody's bigger than me. That doesn't bother me. You think that's going to lack confidence, him going to 154? You know, Bomac said in an interview, Terence was always naturally between 140 and 147 guy and could be debated as a 140. So it makes sense at the age he is at this time to fit into 154. Alcoholic 310. Love this matchup. It's going to be amazing night of boxing. May the best man win. Absolutely. What's with all the bots coming in your comment and talking gibberish? I have no idea, dude. I just hope it's not connected with all these calls I get. I get 30, 40 calls a day from some damn place, from some weird number. I got a 4-digit number one time. I'm like, who's calling me from a 4-digit number? You know, Terence Crawford is the real Ultimate Warrior. He's one of the real Ultimate Warriors people. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
You know, my muscle is very compact, you know, so that don't have nothing to do with the skills and the ability to fight come fight time.
Isrial, do you feel like there's been a lot of people overlooking you? There's so much talk at the moment of this man Crawford versus Canelo in this big super fight. And you're the guy that is the champion. You're the guy that's the unbeaten champion. You're the guy that's campaigned at 154. Do you almost feel like everyone's starting to overlook you already?
У каждого есть свое мнение, свой, как скажем, свой голос, да, так скажем. Ну, сейчас у нас впереди стоят между нами с Теренс Кроуфордом бой. И надо вот это бой надо сделать, и как будет результат, это от Бога.
Isrial, you've got power. We know that, right? Out of your 10 wins, 7 have been by stoppage as well. Do you almost go into the ring expecting, even though what I just said about Crawford not being taken the distance since 2016, do you expect to be able to stop Crawford?
У нас есть свой план. По плану двигаемся. Это результат от Бога, нокаут или, как скажем, по очкам. Это без разницы, но у нас есть план. По плану мы боксируем.
Terence, I want you to tell Israel how this fight plays out on Saturday.
Well, I think we all know how this fight plays out.
Okay, before we hear what Terence has to say, okay. Do you think Bud can get dropped at 154? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think anybody can. It's just, will they? That's where the skills come in, the defense. Is there holes in Terence Crawford's defense? Yeah, he can get hit. But I think Terence Crawford relies basically on punch placement. That's how he hurts fighters. Like, Errol Spence caught him, like, with an overhand left. You know what I mean? And he put some punching into it. But he got caught with an uppercut, with a left uppercut. Boom! He takes one. But then he drops Errol Spence, and that reminded me so much of what we saw with Avanesian versus Boots Ennis. He caught Ennis, and then Ennis came right back and caught him with a straight left. Bow, boom. Reminds me of when Golovkin, I think it was Macklin, Jack the Knife Macklin. Macklin fought Golovkin, and Macklin hit him, and then Golovkin got hit, and he came back and hit him and dropped him. You know, those type of punchers are kind of they're dangerous. Ain't no kind of, they're dangerous. Okay, and I'm gonna say this about Madrimov. Madrimov is a very respectful guy. You can see he's just not, he's not engaged. He just kind of, well, hey, I have mad respect for him. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's knockout. I don't care if it's decision. As long as we get the win, we could talk about anything after the fight, nothing personal. He's just, God has already decided how this fight's going to be. So everyone can make plans if they want, but we have a game plan, and we're going to follow that game plan and strategy to the best of our ability. When you hear guys like that don't talk much, take heed. Okay, take heed. Why? Because someone like that's quiet and that reserved, he's ready to express himself in other ways. Oh, yeah. Madrimov's ready to express himself in other ways. Somebody that quiet, he does look like a Golovkin, don't he? And for the record, a lot of people are like, well, he's not Golovkin. He's not Golovkin. He's from Kazakhstan. He's from Uzbekistan. He's actually Asian. For the record, people, Gennady Golovkin, his mother, their mom, because he has a twin named Max, and their mother is Korean. Just like Bivol. Bivol's Russian and Korean. So he's half Russian, half Korean. But he's, of course, Russian. Nationality is Russian, but, break the biology down. Yeah. So they're both, all of them are Asians, okay? So Terence Crawford is whooping feet. Kurt, what do you think of Crawford fighting once a year since 2019? I think it's due to politics and bullshit. And the same politics are the same reason he fought. Well, no, not necessarily, though. 20, everyone fought one time. Okay. 2018, who did he fight in 18? I know in 2020 he fought Kell Brook. 2018, who did Terence Crawford fight? Kurt, do you like to see Ika Barabucci coming back in boxing and getting a title shot? I would like to see Ika Barabucci come back in boxing on a legitimate ranking, sanctioning body fight. Not an exhibition. He doesn't have time for that. Because if he's going to start doing exhibitions, I just think he just should only do exhibitions. But if he's serious about coming back into the sport, Ibeabuchi needs to fight someone at some point, somewhere, in some type of ranking. Top 30, top 40, something like that, Yeah, he fought Jeff Horn, right? Okay, so he fought Jeff Horn, and that's when he came to welterweight. He fought Jeff Horn, he fought Jose Benavidez, he fought Kell Brook, he fought Amir Khan, he fought I mean, all of these are stoppages, people. Knockouts are stoppages. Avanesian, he fought him twice. I mean, he fought twice last year because he fought Avanesian last year. Or was that last year or was that the year before? I'm not really sure. I think that was last year. But anyhow, no, Madrimov is quiet. Back to him. He's very quiet. So you better take heed. Sean Porter, to Sean Porter, that was in 21, right? So Sean Porter, Errol Spence. I know who he fought. I just don't remember the times right now, the top of my head. Okay. So, but no, him fighting once only this year, that's Errol Spence's fault. And really it's Al Heyman, because Al Heyman wanted so many concessions because he's the one that made it difficult for a lot of these fights to happen. Thus, knowing that, he's a reason around why a lot of fights don't happen, because he's only there to protect the fighter that he advises, not to see fans get entertained. He doesn't care about that. He cares for the fighter, not the fans. Okay, so let's continue.
We know, but we don't know. You got two fighters that's excited to go out there and give their all come Saturday. I know he's 110% prepared. I know his team has prepared him to the best of their abilities to be ready come fight night. My team has prepared me to the best of their abilities. When the fight gets going, he's going to go back to what's comfortable for him. And I will be victorious Saturday.
You heard that, right? You're going to get comfortable, make mistakes, and that's what Crawford does does. How does it play out for you on Saturday?
Ну, как он сказал, я постараюсь, чтобы не делать ошибки, потому что против меня будет стоять лучший боксер. Я думаю, вот это и я боксирую, иншаллах, своим.
Guys, good luck to both of you. Nice handshake as well, please. Well done, good luck. Good luck to the whole team. This Saturday, live on the zone, those two people, as they walk away, will compete for the 154-pound title. See you Saturday.
And that is it, people. The face-off, it was mild. It was non-dramatic. It was calm. I think that we're going to have a better fight. Hopefully, we have a better fight than we did the face-off. This was no Dubois versus Joshua. This was no, Cotto versus Margarito, or no, any of those behind the scene, beyond the gloves type thing. None of that, right? I think that this fight should be a good challenge for Terence Crawford. Okay. Now the question is, will Terence Crawford get put in a situation like David Benavidez got put in? See, David Benavidez went to 175, if you guys know, and experienced something that I know he's not really accustomed to. Okay, look what he did to Plant. Look what he did to Andrade. Look what he did to David Lemieux. Look what he did to a lot of fighters, okay, at 168. At 175, he didn't do what he normally does. David Benavidez came in there and hit Volchnik with every shot that he could possibly hit him with. The same shots that he hit those other guys with, but to no avail. He didn't go down. He didn't knock him down. He didn't stop him. He didn't, you know what I mean? I think the accumulation was, you don't want to get hit with that many times. But at this end of the day, though, at the same time, you've seen him challenged by a bigger opponent. That's the question. Will we see that with Terence Crawford versus Madrimov? Will 154 be the cap? Will we see that? Will we see Madrimov be bigger, and because he's bigger, he should be better? You know what I mean? 147 to 154, you got a guy that's 36 years of age. The question you ask yourself, what was Floyd at 36? he was at the same weight class, but that's the weight class where he stopped progressing, isn't it? So we just got to see what Terence Crawford does against Madrimov versus what Madrimov does with Crawford, how their styles really match, you know, because he does have that overhand Golovkin-ish kind of punch. Well, kind of, he throws it the same. I don't know, and I'm not convinced that he has the same power as Golovkin, but Golovkin's a bigger guy, you know, by what, 6 pounds. But, you know, he does have this kind of Golovkin-ish, you know, type fighting style where he likes to work the body and stuff like that. I personally don't think he hits as hard as Golovkin, but he does have that same mentality, you know, that same mindset, that same demeanor, you know. His tone is the same. You know, he looks like the little baby brother of Gennady Golovkin. It's just Golovkin has brown hair, he has darker hair. Now you scaring us, Kurt. Gonna go with some Madrimov clips after this. Man, look at his clips. And he commits to shots. He commits to those punches, man. He throws chopping overhand punches. You know, and it may be, and here's the thing about weight classes, okay? There's another one. Who has Terence Crawford fought at 147 versus who has Madrimov fought at 154 that challenged each of those fighters? So you got a guy here at 154, you got a guy here at 147. You look at Madrimov. I believe Madrimov has been in there with a lot of tough customers. I think those 11 fights were warranted. He had a, you know, rematch with a guy and it ended in a draw because of a bad cut. Okay, we got to get to the specifics in this situation. And that bad cut was, you know, caused the fight to stop. But, you know, to be fair, Madrimov was doing his thing, fighting a guy named Soro, a Frenchman, right? And he is a good pressure fighter. You know, my only problem, like I said in my breakdown on Madrimov, is when he comes in to shift like a lot of people. Let me show you guys what I mean, okay? Eastern Europeans, you know, they have a style. Hold on, let me move this. Let me move this here, okay? All right, let's put it this way. Okay, they have a style, you know, and they have a style of they shift and then they come in with the shot and then they may come back to their original stance. But the shifting is to get better leverage. So you see, and he comes in or he comes back. So a fighter like Golovkin is good. He can jab, and he may shift in. When he shifts in and comes back, that's a better leverage on the shot that he's throwing, because he's changing stances as he throws. These damn people. So if he's jabbing, but Madrimov does this. He jab, then he'll do this to shift right or left. If Terence catches him, because he normally does it, his hands are here, which they should be here. So if he's kind of coming in with his hands up, those are two different situations. One's guarded, the other one's not. What Madrimov does, he shifts with his hands here to throw a shot from his waist. Okay? So shifting is and he does that. He shifts to get leverage off his foot, off his pivot foot, because he's changing position. Bah! And that's how he is able to land, okay? Jay Roos in the building. Kurt, do you see Ruiz versus Junior going the distance? There's good odds on Miller to win by decision, but might back it in my accumulator, my parlay. Okay. Damn, you're saying that could happen to Bud? Well, he's going to try that with Bud. Bud may see that and saying, okay, when he's changing positions to throw these punches, because people are familiar with that shit. It's just famous in Eastern Europe. Golovkin does it. A lot of people do it. Vasily Lomachenko does it. Dmitry Pitrug did it. If you want to see the perfect example of a shift knockout, when someone knocks someone out shifting their feet, look at Danny Jacobs versus Dmitry Pitrug. Dmitry Pitrug, right, was probably one of the best fighters that came out of Russia, bro. I'm going to keep it a buck. Dmitry Pitrug, unfortunately for him, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Was he helping cut trees? And he had some kind of serious back injury. But he's 20-0 with 15 KOs. And one of his victims was Danny Miracle Man Jacobs. This was before he was Miracle Man, because he didn't find out he had the cancer yet. Because they didn't even know if he was going to walk again. But he proved everybody wrong. He just recently got beat by Shane Jr. a couple weeks ago, right? But anyhow, that was his first loss to Dmitry Pitrug. Dmitry Pitrug messed around and shifted his feet because Danny was not familiar with that. Okay, and he switched stance. He thought he was going to, because most fighters stay in a certain stance. But when you change, and you're like, whoa, okay, he's changing from southpaw to orthodox, or from orthodox to southpaw, then you switch back over, bow, just to land a shot from a certain angle. That's what gives you the knockout. In this case, just go watch that fight. Go watch the highlights of Pitrug versus Jacobs. David didn't stop Plant. David's shots were bouncing off Volchnik like nothing. I think Beterbiev stops Benavidez. Al Cuerpo boxing. I think the same thing. And I'm sorry, he didn't stop Plant. He didn't. He hurt Plant, but he didn't stop Plant. Canelo stopped him, to be fair. It might just be that Benavidez is natural 168. He has a lot of extra weight on. He could easily take off of proper dieting. Ask Skip, maybe David Benavidez is a natural 175er. Maybe he's a natural 175er, and he's been fighting in a lower weight class for a long time. See, here's the thing. Not everybody's meant to be a knockout puncher. At some point, I think any fighter that has a decent punch can become notorious in a certain division, especially if he's a lot bigger naturally than that division. If he rehydrates to the weight class, more than likely he's supposed to have been fighting, and he's beating the shit out of smaller guys. That's what you got. Okay? So I think Benavidez is a natural 175er. He's just not as devastating as he looks or really is, because he's fighting at his own weight. And then fighting guys at your own size don't always end in a result that you think that you're going to get. If you beat up a lot of smaller dudes, you're supposed to. And speaking of Ika Barabucci for a minute, I don't know who he had sparring. I think they just picked some live body for him to get some rounds in or whatever, some sparring time in. But I'll tell you this, that man was small. I'm 6'2", 230. He was nowhere near me. Not saying I would like to get hit by Ika Barabucci. I mean, I would spar him. But understand this, I'm not 160. I wasn't that small. So yeah, he was catching that dude, dropping that dude, hurting that dude. But at the same time, that dude was smaller. So I have to counterpunch that. So I might as well do it in this live while I'm here. I may do another video for the people that don't catch me live, because YouTube don't do the damn job. Now saying that he will win, but impressed with how much calm confidence is exuding from Madrimov. Vincent, absolutely. Floyd was slower with 10-ounce gloves. Crawford doesn't fight. Jesus. Another one. Crawford might risk more offensively than Floyd did. Plus, Bud doesn't play much rope-a-dope like Floyd. Exciting fight. Well, here's the thing. Terence Crawford fighting at age 36 is a way more exciting fighter than Floyd Money Mayweather was at 36 or 37 or 38. Okay. He's just more of an exciting fighter. Now, here's the thing. Floyd wanted to fight safer because he wanted to protect the bag. What I mean by that is he wanted to protect the image. He wanted to protect the record. If he protects the record, he can protect the money. Because everyone knew Floyd, Money Mayweather, the minute he gets beat or knocked spark out by somebody, people will not care. People will troll him for years because people like to hate Floyd. And see, and shortly, I don't know if they hate him because he's just an asshole, maybe, or he won't fight the best, which makes him pretty much an asshole, maybe, or maybe that they don't like him because of what he looks like. You know what I mean? Because I used to think that Larry Merchant was a guy that just openly criticized guys just because he felt like, well, I think you should do a better job. And I respected it at the time until I found out some new information from Larry Merchant that made me really look at him a lot different. See, you can't unsee something you've already saw. Larry Merchant, okay, was always criticizing Mike Tyson, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., Lennox Lewis. And I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, well, he always had something to say about a fight, about the performance of a fight. He said a lot of that with Floyd. Remember, Floyd eventually cussed him out over years and years of that ridicule. But what I learned in 2020 was when Tyson Fury, which is a British fighter, that's an English traveler, beat Deontay Wilder. And he said, well, we've been looking for white hopes a long time, so I'm just enjoying this. And that really made me look at him differently and understand, like, well, wait a minute. Maybe a lot of stuff that these guys were saying about these commentators, maybe some of this shit's true. It's just Larry Merchant's old as hell and he's in his 90s and he doesn't care. Yeah, I favor white fighters over any other fighters. I'm just glad a white fighter won. I didn't like that. I just didn't like that whole idea because I'm like, well, wait a minute. Nationality is one thing. Race is another thing. So you don't even care where they come from as long as they look more like you. Okay. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this is because Floyd Mayweather was another fighter that was ridiculed by that particular person. And then that particular person, Larry Merchant, other people may think like him. That's what I'm saying. So people probably hate Floyd or dislike what Floyd did or ridicule Floyd or talk shit about Floyd simply because Floyd was just diabolical in the decisions he made. But then maybe they're like Larry Merchant, and Larry Merchant didn't like Floyd possibly because of how he looked. You know, so there you go. Weird thing by Merchant to say. Yeah, it was weird. I love black fighters. We always winning. I mean, here's the thing. Him saying, I'm just enjoying this. It just made me think like, well, wait a minute. There was another factor that was going on that we weren't aware of when you were ridiculing these fighters that didn't look like you. You know, they were a lot warmer than you were. And it just makes you think like, okay, well, maybe people, I can't stand Floyd Mayweather. I can't stand that motherfucker. You know what I mean? You know, here's the deal. Here's the deal. You go back generations before that. See, everybody loves my father. Everybody loves Muhammad Ali now. Everybody loved him from the 70s, well, the 80s, 90s. And, you know, after he retired with his, you know, last and final battle with Parkinson's. Okay, everybody loved Muhammad Ali at that point, but there were times in the 60s and 70s where people hated him. They despised him. They couldn't stand him. And they couldn't because of, for one, he changed his religious beliefs. For two, he changed his political beliefs, and thus changing his political beliefs changed the things that he did in his life or refused to do in his life that other people did. Like Joe Louis, like Jersey Joe Walcott, like others, Rocky Marciano, like guys that went to the military that were boxers that, that I don't know if they necessarily risked their lives, but those were different wars too. Vietnam War was terrible. Okay. That was a terrible war. My father was in that war. And he tells me that that was a war, like probably, it's kind of hard to say, but I mean, he said it was horrible, horrific. Things you couldn't imagine happened there. And Muhammad Ali didn't want to go because there were other problems in the country at that time. And people hated him for it. People called him a coward. People called him this. People called him that. Why am I mentioning Muhammad Ali? How's that tie into Floyd Mayweather? Well, hey, Floyd came up in a much different time, right? So he became popular in the late 90s and through the 2000s, right? He was unbeaten and, and people disliked him, especially when he started making money. He was an obnoxious little shit for a while, though, but understand, people probably didn't like him. Or maybe they didn't like him before he even opened his mouth. And if that's the case, what are you mad about? Okay. Did you see Andre Ward sparring with Crawford? I did. I seen Ward a lot bigger than Crawford. I seen Ward takes care of himself still. That's what I notice about Andre Ward, that this man still stays in shape. I need to hang out with him. I need to hang out with SOG. I need to hang out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I need to hang out with Vladimir Klitschko. I need to hang out with those dudes because those dudes are athletes naturally, and they show and they prove that they're natural athletes. They're not those guys that used to be the shit that are now 300 pounds. They're not Buster Douglases, Riddick Bowes, those guys that, Evander Holyfield, another example. He ain't gonna, dude. He's gonna be he's gonna be a perfect corpse. You know what I mean? People are gonna be looking at his dead body like, what the hell happened to this guy? Because he's in perfect condition, right? Skrilla 50 in the building. Counterpunch to you. Muhammad Ali is greatest of all time. Black soldiers only lasted 1 minute on the front line because they would put them in. I mean, everything was shitty over there, and he decided to do the unpopular thing, and people hated him. Just like people hated Floyd for speaking up for himself and getting away from Bob Arum. Marlon Thornell, what's good, Counterpunch? Counterpunch to you, brother. The host is speaking facts, but I lost respect for Floyd saying that he was better than Ali, but everyone has their own opinion. Well, Floyd, understand, that's deep, diabolical, self-absorbed, self-centered shit that's going through Floyd's mind. Floyd still thinks he's better than every other fighter without fighting them at all. And what did we learn about fighters that claim to fight people or be better than people but not fight them? We learned that about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, you let him tell it, he's better than anybody that ever came out of a JJ. Of the JJ. I'm like, whoa. Ever born? You're telling me that you're better than anyone ever born, dude. And what happened? He got his ass whooped. That's what happens. I mean, so I don't believe that what Floyd said. For all we knew, Floyd could have stopped where he knew, I'm going to stop right here at 154 because I ain't fight Golovkin. Nothing wrong, nothing special about him. No up and down, no special effects, but I ain't fighting him. You ain't fighting him. You know why he didn't want to fight Gennady Golovkin? Because the one thing I noticed about Floyd was a defensive genius. Floyd Mayweather. Money Mayweather. Pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. His defense was pretty almost patented. It's like he had a block for every punch, and he didn't get punched off, and that's why he's in such good shape now. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could be anybody after I had a career in boxing in the condition he's in, it would be Floyd or like Andre Ward or someone that you can hear him, you can hold a conversation with them, besides them, instead of them saying, because the first thing about tongue-tied, the first thing about punch-drunk syndrome is punch-drunk syndrome starts tongue-tied. So when you can't, because what's happening is your ability to articulate words change. So instead of me saying chain, I'm saying dang. wait a minute, what? You know, it's kind of it gets this. Sugar Shane Mosley has it a bit, just a bit. It's acute. Roy Jones Jr. has it, even though he still talks fast. Who else? What's the guy from Grants Rapids? What's his name? Tony. James Tony has it. Bad. I'm like, what? What? Well, what? You know what I mean? It's this nasally. Yeah, it's bad. El Rey Mago. Hey, Unc, who you got for the Jared Anderson versus Martin McCauley fight? I don't know what nephew you are, but I think Jared Anderson does it. I think Jared Anderson takes it. Jai would hurt Moses badly. Jai Apataya? I don't know. I mean, you got to understand. Moses Ataya, he's talking about Jai. He's more experienced and less. No. Jai Apataya is a cruiserweight. I think he's faster. It would be an interesting fight, but you can't underestimate the power of Atoma. See, Atoma hits him. British already broke this dude's jaw. And that was a close fight. It was a closer fight than people thought it was. It's just Marius Bradis was a guy that's older. Kurt, finish telling us about why Floyd didn't fight Triple G. Thank you. Back on point. Floyd didn't fight Triple G because Floyd, despite all the defensive knowledge and ability that he has, and the pull counter and the shoulder roll and the slip and dip and pulley and parries and all that shit, the one thing that you could hit Floyd with was a jab. It started with the equation. If you were going to put a prime Golovkin, let's say 34-year-old Golovkin, in there with even up 30, you got to be a 34-year-old Floyd. Floyd would have a lot of success in that fight, but Floyd would have to become an Erislandy Lara. He would have to turn into an Erislandy, because he would have to fight him in a way to 1-2, then move. 1-2, then move. Okay. The defense has to become the distance, has to become the defense. That has to be, because once Gennady Golovkin had one of the best jabs in the business, and the jabs hurt. That's why he didn't fight Golovkin, because Golovkin, he can move in and out, and he can come in and bam, 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 and he does pressure you. He does come for you. He does, now does he have any special ability? No. But his durability, his mentality is second to none. See, Floyd would be able to hit him, but Golovkin with that chin he got, no, bro. Floyd will hit him. He could catch him. He could give him a 1-2. You know what I mean? There's a reason he didn't want to do that, because the jab would have eventually hurt Floyd to the hey, I have to do something else. It would make him change game plans, or because I don't see him taking that jab, because it's only so many pull counters. Because he could pull counter the jab of Golovkin. Bow, he gets hit. He catches it, and then he dips under. Well, who showed us what about Floyd? Maidana just threw the right directly behind the jab and caught Floyd flush. At 60, I don't think Floyd would have fought Golovkin at 60. I think he would have fought him at 157. You know what I mean? You can't really get mad, because that's what Oscar made Bernard Hopkins do. See, Oscar De La Hoya made Bernard Hopkins fight him at 157, okay? He made him fight him at 157. And he still got knocked out. Stude's gay brother. Hi, Counterpunch. What's going on, Stude? Adari Pennant. Kurt, I would like to see Moses Atoma versus Jai Apataya. Obviously so. You got that going. Me personally, I think Floyd would have fought Gennady Golovkin at 157. But here's the thing, Golovkin, I do appreciate him back in the day, back in what, 8 years ago, not bending to the idea of the catch weight, because that's what they wanted. That's what Oscar wanted. Therefore, that's what Canelo wanted, because Oscar has showed us how he made people do the same shit, right? He made Bernard Hopkins, not being the A side, come down from 160th, being the reigning champion that has 22 title defenses, and made this man go to 157 to fight him for the middleweight championship of the world. Okay, what's Miller's chances of beating Victor? I think it's 45-55 in favor of Andy. I think Andy still does it. I hope Andy loses. Because, see, for me, Andy has done what I feel Andy's going to do. I feel that Andy Ruiz has done everything that he's going to do. I think he's done what he's going to do, period. You know, damn, you know what? Yeah. Kurt in their prime, who wins, Loma or Manny at 126? At 126, if Manny doesn't hurt Loma, Loma got Manny. You know what I mean? Because what we've learned about Manny had issues with, but then again, these are two southpaws, so it's, whoa, that's a different equation. You know? But Manny, if Manny don't hurt him, which, see, Manny was devastating at 126 and 122. See, that's the thing. Manny, who didn't he hurt? Barrera, he stopped him twice. Juan Manuel Marquez, that if it was a 3 knockdown rule in effect, we wouldn't even had a saga, because he dropped Juan Manuel Marquez 3 times in the first round. That fight probably, based on certain rules, if the 3 knockdown rule was in effect, he would have lost. That fight would have been over first round next. Okay? He whooped everybody down there. He whooped the rivals. He whooped Barrera. He whooped Morales. He did it all. He did it all, man. That's exactly what he did. So, that being said, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now I gotta go to work, so you gotta check out this room. So, Kurt, are you going live for the fight? Yeah, I'm going live for the fight. I may be off. I may be in Austin. I don't know. I may be here in Fort Worth. So, but I'm going live for the fight. I just want to do a fight like that, a fight like Terence Crawford. I want to do that, you know, the right way with, you know, with my correct setup, not the mobile type. No, I want to do it right. Bars. That's what I want to do. So, there you go. Let's see. Yeah, they got it on the same vote. Yeah, guys. Kurt, why do I always get gassed while sparring? Well, you're conditioning for one. CC motion. Shit. Because, I mean, how much do you weigh versus are you obese? A lot of people don't know that I'm obese. I'm 6'2" and probably 240. I was supposed to be at least 220. You know what I mean? It's just based on looking at a certain person's build, like, oh man, you're solid. But no, I mean, that has nothing to do with you being the proper weight. And I mean the proper weight for your body to run smoothly the way it's supposed to run. Okay, so Kurt, you're the same size as Usyk. No, Usyk's in shape. Kurt's not in shape. Look. So I just don't, you know, oh, you look good. See, I mean, I don't have a good, I'm not, You know, a lot of it's athletic, but my legs are bigger. You know, maybe my arms are probably the same as Usyk, but Usyk is 223, 224. Now maybe he's walking around at 230. You know what I mean? Let's see what time it is because I got to catch. Yeah, 15 minutes. Okay, maybe he's walking around at 230. But yeah, I am a guy that see, I'm fasting right now. I haven't eaten anything since maybe 11 last night, and that was it. So I won't eat until 4. Okay, so from this whole 12-hour period, I won't eat, and it's almost what 4 o'clock now my time. Okay, so it's almost 4 o'clock my time, and then it's another 30 minutes to set. So probably, maybe, hopefully, I want to be 5 o'clock. So 5 to 12, you know, that's 17 hours. Okay, so really, I want to do a 36-hour fast. That would be dope, but you know, but yeah, that's how I'm figured out how to fast. You know, because I could be hitting the weights and getting bigger, but I don't want to get bigger. I'm good. I want my flexibility. You know. And it's what you eat too, dude. I've been eating a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables, you know. But no, I'm still obese. That don't mean anything. So when you do, and you're not conditioned to do certain things, yeah, you're gonna run into that. How often do you spar, Vincent? That's another question. Yeah, man. And I want to do a 3-day fast. I want to do that shit where your body starts killing off bad cells. That's what I want to do. That gets me excited. So, you know, I've just started fasting this year. I might have fasted and didn't know I was fasting because I was stressed the hell out, like a bad breakup or something like that. But, you know, I was taking in calories, all right, a little beer or alcohol. Damn, Kurt, you fast? Tip my hat off to you. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's something definitely new, but it is something that I'm getting accustomed of doing. So I got to get out of here, guys. So, oh, yeah, I got to put this up too. But yeah, we got to check out. So it's time to get out. Yep. Trying to get out of Dodge. Cool. All right. I think I got everything. I might. Oh, nope. Got to get the shades. So, peace, Kurt. Good stream. Yeah, guys, I appreciate you. It only supposed to have been 30 minutes, so you guys got me talking and rapping for another hour. So we will go live for the weigh-in tomorrow, so stay tuned for that on top of other videos that I'm dropping. So I have 4 more to drop today. Stay tuned for that. But you guys, God bless you. Have a great day. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.